Good morning. I am Sujata, Assistant Professor in Botany, Government Degree College. Today, I am going to give a lecture on plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is a thin layer which covers the protoplasm and it separates the protoplasm from cell wall. This plasma membrane is also called as cell membrane or plasma lemma. This plasma membrane, it separates the cytoplasm from the cell wall. In plant cells, cell wall is present. Beneath the cell wall, plasma membrane is present. In animal cells and mycoplasma, there is no cell wall. Only plasma membrane is present. This plasma membrane only protective layer in those cells. This plasma membrane not only present beneath the cell wall and also it is present the cell organelles which are present in the cell like chloroplast, mitochondria, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, like that. The chemical composition of plasma membrane. This plasma membrane is made up of lipids, proteins, carbohydrates. The quantitative analysis of plasma membrane reveals that proteins and lipids are more than carbohydrates. When we see the lipids which are present in the plasma membrane, they constitute 40% of plasma membrane. Main 4 different types of lipids are present in plasma membrane. Those are phospholipids, glycolipids, sphingolipids, steroids. Every phospholipid molecule, it consists a head and tail portions. The head is with hydrophilic phosphate molecule, while the tail part is hydrophobic with fatty acids. So these two types of molecule, these molecules exhibit the two types of properties. That's why these are called as amphipathic molecules, because these are having the two properties, that is hydrophilic and hydrophobic. That's why these molecules are called as amphipathic molecules. Next constituents are the proteins. These proteins, they constitute 50% of the plasma membrane. There are 3 types of proteins: structural proteins, functional proteins, carrier proteins. Structural proteins combined with lipids, they play an important role in the structure of plasma membrane. These structural proteins, depending on their distribution and their position, these are 2 types. First one is extrinsic proteins and second is intrinsic proteins. This classification is depending on their distribution. So extrinsic proteins, they constitute 30% of total proteins. These extrinsic proteins are present or loosely attached to the head portion of the phospholipids. These are present on either side of the bimolecular lipid layer. Next one is the intrinsic proteins. These intrinsic proteins are firmly attached and intermingled with bilayer lipids. Some of these proteins protrude and spread out and also present on the outer margins of the lipid layer. So these both extrinsic proteins and intrinsic proteins, these both, they provide mechanical energy of the plasma membrane. Next one is the functional proteins. Second one is the functional proteins. These proteins mostly they involve in the functions of the proteins. In the form of enzymes, they catalyze different chemical reactions. Those reactions are associated with the plasma membrane. Examples for these functional proteins are acidic phosphatase, alkaline phosphatase, RNase. So these functional proteins, they help in the transportation of different materials across the membrane. Third one is the carrier proteins. This type of proteins, they're present in the plasma membrane, that is third type, carrier proteins. They play an important role in the transportation of different ions and other material through this membrane. Example for these carrier proteins are permeases. Next, carbohydrates. These are in small proportion. When we compare with the lipids and proteins, carbohydrates are present in less. These carbohydrates are, they may branch or unbranched type. These carbohydrates, that is two types, glycoproteins and glycolipids. Glycoproteins help in transmission of information and also act as antigens. These glycoproteins also help in identifying toxic substances and also they restrict their entry into the cell. So these help the cell from the toxic substances. These glycoproteins, they do not allow the toxic substances into the cell. Next, ultrastructure of plasma membrane. There are several theories are there to explain the ultrastructure of plasma membrane. But in those, there are four important models are there to explain the plasma membrane structure. So these four are the Danieli and Davison's bimolecular model and Robertson trilamellar model and Hailer and Hoffman's micellar model and Singer and Nicholson's fluid mosaic model. So first one, Danieli and Davison's bimolecular model. This model is proposed by Danieli and Davison's two scientists. According to this model, the plasma membrane, it consists in the middle lipid layer and this lipid layer is sandwiched by the globular proteins. That means in the middle two layers of the lipids are present. See the image. So this is the Davison-Danieli model of the plasma membrane. So in this model, in the middle, two layers of the lipid present, and these two layer lipid is sandwiched by the globular protein layers. The lipids present in the middle are two layered and the proteins covering both sides. In this sandwich model, that is consisting of the three layers, in this model, on the exterior side, a protein layer is present. Next to that, in the middle, lipid layer is present. The lipid layer is covered on the interior side again by the another protein layer. That means in the middle, two layers of the lipids, both either that is extrinsic side and intrinsic side, both sides are the proteins are present. They proposed the presence of proteins linked pores also. Through these pores which are present in these proteins, the water and ions are transported. So this is the Davison-Danieli model of plasma membrane structure. And the second model is Robertson trilamellar model, or another name is unit membrane concept. So these scientists, that is Robertson, he proposed this model in 1960. So according to this theory, the cellular membranes, here cellular membranes means not only plasma membrane which is present beneath the cell wall, the membranes which are present around the cell organelles. So these are all called as cellular membranes. So according to this theory, the cellular membranes, they have the trilaminar structures. Trilaminar structures. These trilaminar structures called as universal membrane. Universal membrane as unit membrane. As unit membrane. So this model is similar that the previous model, that is Danieli-Davison model. So in this model, see the image. This is the Robertson model. In this model, the thick, that is the 35 angstroms thick lipid layer, which is present in the middle, and proteins are present either side. That is, both sides are proteins are present. So the electrostatic forces between positively charged proteins on the outer margin and the negatively charged lipid in the center maintain. They maintain stability in the membrane. So according to this Robertson model, mucoproteins are present on the outer margin and non-mucoproteins present in the inner margin. So here are the two types, mucoproteins and non-mucoproteins. Mucoproteins are present on the outer margin and non-mucoproteins are present in the inner margin. So this model, the Robertson also called this model unit membrane. Unit membrane as greater membrane. Next model is, that is proposed by Hailer and Hoffman scientists, that is micellar model. Micellar model. So according to this model, the plasma membrane does not exist in lamellar pattern. Previous two are they are lamellar pattern, that is Davison-Danieli, and also another, that is Robertson model. These two models are the lamellar model. But according to this micellar model, the plasma membrane it is not present in the lamellar pattern. It is not present in the lamellar pattern. So according to this theory, the plasma membrane consists of globular subunits. Globular subunits. These subunits are called micelles. These subunits are called micelles. So according to this micellar model, which is proposed by the Hailer and Hoffmans, the subunits are present instead of lamellar pattern. The subunits, which subunits? The globular subunits are present. These globular subunits are called as micelles. So every micelle has a core of 6 to 8 phospholipid molecules. 6 to 8 phospholipid molecules. The around those are the 6 to 8 phospholipid molecules. So the hydrophobic tails of the phospholipids are present towards the center, and hydrophilic head portions are present towards the periphery. The proteins cover this lipid layer present in the core region. So this micellar structure at the core region is the protein. Around this the lipids are present. So these lipids are having the two properties, that is hydrophobic and tail and hydrophilic head. The hydrophilic head is present towards the periphery and the hydrophobic tail is present towards the inside. And at the core center is, that is the core region is present, that proteins. Okay, this core region which is present at the center. So this model has not received much appreciation when we compare with the remaining models. And next, fourth model is the Singer and Nicholson's model. This model is called as fluid mosaic model. Fluid mosaic model. This model is proposed by Singer and Nicholson scientists. They proposed this theory in 1972 to explain the structure of the plasma membrane, not only plasma membrane and other biological membranes also. So this theory was widely accepted. Here in this, according to this theory, the plasma membrane is of fluid consistency. It consists of fluid with the proteins distributed in it in a mosaic pattern. Plasma, according to this, the plasma membrane is a fluid with proteins distributed in it in a mosaic pattern. In the center of the membrane, lipid molecules are present. You see the image? Okay, this is the image of fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane. So in this, in the center of the membrane, lipid molecules are present. These lipid molecules are arranged in two rows. Two rows. The lipid molecules at the center, they are present in two rows. In each row, the hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail are present. So the hydrophilic head are present towards the exterior. The hydrophilic head of the lipid present towards the exterior, and the hydrophobic tails are present towards the center. So in this model, at the center, Lipid molecules are present in two rows. So in each row, the hydrophilic head are present towards the exterior side and the hydrophobic tails are present towards the center. The globular proteins are present on the outer and inner margins of the lipids. Depending on the distribution and position of the proteins are present in this lipid. So depending on their distribution and the position where the proteins are present. So these proteins again classified into two types, that is peripheral proteins or extrinsic. Another one is the integral proteins or intrinsic. So the extrinsic proteins which are attached to the outer surface of the lipid molecule, and the intrinsic proteins, they are embedded in the bilayered lipid molecules. So depending on the distribution of the or position of the proteins, here proteins are two types. One is extrinsic or peripheral. These proteins are attached at the outer surface of the lipid molecule. And second one is the integral or intrinsic proteins. These proteins are deeply embedded in the bilayered lipid molecules. So these are embedded. That's why these proteins are called as the integral proteins. These are called as the integral proteins. So these four are the models which explained about the structure of the plasma membrane. Next, plasma membrane, it performs some functions because it is made up of lipoproteins. So that's why it performs a variety of functions in the plant cell. So the major functions of the plasma membrane are, first one is the transport of water and solvents. So the plasma membrane present beneath the cell wall. So it mainly involves in the transport of water and solvents. So it regulates the transport of water and other solvents. It acts as a, that is the plasma membrane acts like a semi-permeable membrane. Here semi-permeable means it allows only some substances. So in plant cells, the plasma membrane is semi-permeable. That means it allows only water molecules inside the cell, but not the solute particles. So this is acts as a semi-permeable membrane. So this process, that is only it allows the entry of water into the cell. So the process of water entering into the cell is also called as endosmosis. Exosmosis means that is going outside from the cell. Endosmosis means that is entry into the cell. So this plasma membrane, it acts, that is it to function or it useful to transport the water from the outside to into the cell. So it acts like a semi-permeable membrane. And also it transports the water from one cell to other cell also. And gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen also diffuse through the plasma membrane. And second function is the ion transport. Ion transport. The plasma membrane plays an important role in the transport of the ions also. A number of elements required by the plant for its metabolism. So many elements are there. There are micro and macro elements are there. So these elements are essential for the plant for its metabolism. So these elements, that is in the form of ions, they transport through plasma membrane. So the transport may be either passive or active. So active method of absorption, it involves in the utilization of energy. That is passive, there is no utilization of the energy. And next function is endocytosis. Endocytosis, that means some molecules are ingested into the cell from the outside. Some molecules ingested into the cell from the outside. So this process is called as endocytosis. That is taking a large molecules into the cell through plasma membrane. So this process is called as the endocytosis. So this endocytosis can be carried by two ways. One is pinocytosis and second one is receptor mediated endocytosis. First one, that is pinocytosis. Both are taking the large molecules into the cell through plasma membrane. So what is pinocytosis? What is receptor mediated endocytosis? That is, pinocytosis is some of the droplets of liquid substances entering through the plasma membrane is called as the pinocytosis. Some liquid droplets, they cannot transported through the plasma membrane. So those are ingested into the cell through pinocytosis. So this is called the pinocytosis. So what is the pinocytosis? Taking of some liquid droplets or the ingestion of liquid droplets through plasma membrane is called as pinocytosis. So how can it takes place? First, the plasma membrane, it surrounds the substance. There is a liquid substance is there. Then the plasma membrane, first it surrounds around the substance. Then it's swallowed into the cell, the substance which is covered by this plasma membrane. So the outside there is some droplets or there is liquid is present. Then first what happened? The plasma membrane total it covers the substance and then it's swallowed into the cell. So this type of endocytosis is called as pinocytosis, or we can call cell drinking. Like how we are drinking water, like that cell drinking. Okay. So the amino acids and some proteins are taken in this through this process. So the liquid substances which are present outside, those are swallowed by the plasma membrane. This process is called as the pinocytosis. Okay. So the second one is the second type of the second way of endocytosis is the receptor mediated endocytosis. Here in this method, there are specific receptors are there. There are some specific receptors present in the plasma membrane surface. So these specific receptors which are present on the plasma membrane surface, they recognize macromolecules which are present outside the membrane. So these receptors, they recognize the macromolecules and binds with them. So the binding of these macromolecules by receptors is called as, that is, receptor mediated endocytosis. So what is the procedure? In this way, there are some specific receptor present on the plasma membrane surface. So they recognize, what is the function of these receptors? They recognize the macromolecules which are present outside of the cell and they binds with them. So the substance which is attached to the receptor is called as ligand. Okay. So this type of the endocytosis is called the receptor mediated. Here the direct, not it is taken directly, not it is depending on the receptors which are present in the plasma membrane. So here the endocytosis taking place through the receptors which are present in the plasma membrane. That's why we are calling this way as receptor mediated endocytosis. Okay. And last function is the phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means it is also one function of the plasma membrane, that is the intake of large sized solid particles. Here it is taking the large size. Which state? Solid state. The solid particles which are large in size. So the intake of large sized particles through plasma membrane is called as phagocytosis. So phagocytosis means what? The intaking of the solid particles through plasma membrane is called as phagocytosis. Okay, thank you.